So a little over 20 years ago now, three of my buddies and myself were able to put together a really low-cost Alaskan fishing trip. The way we did it was we went to the Seattle Boat Show and just happened to be talking to a salesman that was selling this 32-foot boat called a Nordic Tug. While we were talking to him, he says, "Yeah," he says, "I sell them as an investment to people who rent them out, during the summer up in Alaska for a week or so and pay for the boat." So we said, "Well, you know anybody that's renting out that's got a time slot?" And he said, "Yeah, you're one of my clients. I recently sold it to. Here's a way to contact him." So we contacted him and we went through all of the computations, and we figured that for sleeping on this boat, renting the boat for a week, flying up to Alaska, buying all our licenses, food, all that stuff, shipping stuff back, we hoped to get by for $1,000 a piece for actually 8 days of fishing and vacationing. And we were pretty close to that budget. And again, this was 20 plus years ago, but this is the way to go about it. So we wound up flying up to Juneau, meeting a guy that John, who had his boat over in Hoonah, picked us up in a float plane, flew us over to his place. We loaded up the boat with, he had all the rods and reels and all that. He had a grocery store that he sold us some provisions for. And we says, "Well, how do we keep some of the stuff cold?" And he says, "Well, just net yourself a piece of glacier ice." He says, "If you get a little bit of that in the ice box, it's going to last you for the whole trip." He gave us some charts and said, "Here's a place to go up into Glacier Bay. Here's the route that you want to take." He said, "When you get up to a certain spot, here's a fun little side trip you would want to take at a place called Bark Bay. Bring a crab pot with you and throw it out, and then take the little dinghy to shore, and there's a little stream that comes out of the north end of the lake, and take your spinning gear with you." And he said, "Use that in the stream, and you're going to be able to catch everything from dolly varden to pink salmon and cutthroat trout, etc." So, we did that. We got in the boat, had our groceries, and we just we're going to sleep on the boat for 7 days and go up into this Glacier Bay area. And it was really a neat experience. They only allow like 4 boats a day up into this massive area. So it's really primitive wilderness. No houses, no facilities or anything. You weren't allowed to bring any kind of a gun up there, no pistols or anything like that for dispatching halibut. And they checked you, when you check in at the ranger station going into the bay. So, every day, I mean, if you saw a boat somewhere in the distance, like a cruise ship or something, that was your sighting. I mean, it was wilderness out there. So we pull into this Bark Bay area, and we walk to shore and throw some pots and get to shore, and then you see grizzly bear tracks along the beach, and we get to this little stream that he had told us about, and it's just loaded with pink salmon. Every cast we're hooking a 3 or 4 pound salmon and bringing it in, and as we walked up the stream, we started running into the dolly varden and the cutthroat trout and that. And they're like 12 to 15 inch fish, and it was just but it was tall grass around there, and you could see where the bear come into that mouth, and that's their feeding area for catching the fish. So we were making lots of noise, make sure that they knew we were there to stay away from us. So we would just kind of kept motoring along and fishing every day, and we never caught any really huge salmon, but we got them up to 30 pounds probably. One day I finally talked the guys into doing some halibut fishing, and we got this halibut right up to the edge of the boat. We had this just kind of a hand gaff that we had brought along ourselves, and the halibut came up, and it was probably 150 pounds. I mean, and Dave reached over and hooked the halibut with the gaff, and the halibut started thrashing and almost pulled Dave in, and I mean, it was really a comedy, and finally the gaff broke, and the halibut took off, and that was the end of our fishing for that. And, but we would go out and we would, watch some of the commercial people, right on the edge of the ocean, commercially fishing for these pink salmon. I mean, just bringing them in by the bucket loads, just trolling through these areas. Just massive schools of salmon would come in. And we would catch, most days, we'd go an hour or two without between bites, but every once in a while you'd get into an area where, you know, the fish were really schooled up, and you just catch them one after another. So it was really fun, and I think one day we went into a place called Elf Bay, and we wanted to go to shore. I think get a few more groceries, and they had everything was free. I mean, just like restrooms and showers, and I still remember standing in front of the urinal and trying to hit it because you're still rocking from being on the boat. Sleeping on the boat, you just whole body kind of goes with the flow of the ocean, I guess. We eventually didn't have any boat problems. We were able to navigate using the maps. Two of the four of us were reasonably experienced boaters, and were able to, just do the navigational skills, that were needed. So, just a fun trip. We made it again within our $1,000 a piece budget, and that just gives you an idea that instead of paying $10,000 for one of these trips, that's only 3 or 4 days, some of these low cost things you can put them together yourself. So anyway, I hope that gives you an idea, and you go up to Alaska and have a good time. We hope that you enjoyed this week's telling of Campfire Tales. Please remember to hit subscribe to make sure that you get the announcements for next week's upcoming activities, as well as the new topics for the Campfire Tales. Please also share the fun that we have here and let your friends know about our website. Check out RogersOutdoorChannel.org for more information and to stay connected. If you like the outdoors, great to enjoy this site.